All right, all right. Hello. Welcome. I am super excited to talk to you guys today. Again, I'm Dr. Emily. I'm the founder of the Joy of Coding Academy. And today we are super excited because we are going to dive in to how fast can you get a developer job in 2023, right? So people are asking these questions all the time. And when people ask, okay, well, how fast can I reasonably get a job as a software developer, right? So this is what we want to talk about today. And the answer is, it depends. For most students that I work with, about 6 months. It can take, I've seen it take less. I've seen students get job offers in 3 months. It can take longer, right? I've seen students take longer than that, but the average typically is around 6 months. And here's why. Okay, let's take a step back for a second. What goes into getting a dev job? Right? Because we actually have 3 major things that, factors that come into play when we're going up for a dev job, right? So like what determines the speed at which someone gets a software development job? Well, the first is their technical skills, right? Everybody's working on those tech skills, right? And that's where a lot of people spend time, because if you don't have the technical skills, it's going to be really hard to succeed on the job, right? So a lot of people spend time there. Okay, so these are the 3 major things under tech skills that we really want to look for. We want the 7 basics. We want to be able to debug stuff and change the code that other people have written, not just ourselves, and working with others, right? These are all interrelated. They all go together. So tech skills, yeah, you want to have tech skills. So what we typically want to see is, tech skills, this is usually around 2 to 4 months. Why is there such a range? Well, there's a couple different factors at work here. Do you already have prior experience, right? If you already have some experience, you can go through faster. Are you working part-time? Are you working full-time? And then there's the variability of how quickly do you learn? How quickly do you assimilate these concepts? Because when we're learning how to become a software developer, we're learning how to solve problems, and we're actually learning a new way of thinking. And how quickly you can learn to think differently is going to be different for every individual. So what I see across the board is that these technical skills can take anywhere from 2 to 4 months, typically, to get job ready. So technical skills, let's assume we're taking the smart path. We're working smarter, not harder, and we're doing 2 to 4 months. All right. So that's step 1, right? That's where most people begin. Let's change our focus for a second. When do I feel like I have the skills to become a software developer? Yes, this is big, but it's not the end. There's 2 other factors that are super important to nailing your first dev job. All right, what are those? Okay, you might not want to hear this, but becoming a software developer is not only about talking to computers, it's about talking to people. So what does this look like? Building rapport, collaborating, right? Working on a team. These are super, super important and critical. It's not always the most technically skilled person that gets the job. Here's why. Technically skilled people command very high salaries, but to earn those salaries, they have to work with others. So, if you're looking for a salaried job with a company, you must learn how to work with others. And if you guys recall, Miles Savage was a recruiter from New York City. He spoke in the group with me about a month ago. And he's also a cloud engineer. And he told me that the people that are getting these jobs with the top salaries are not just technically capable. They're able to communicate with others. They're able to communicate with stakeholders at multiple levels.
The thing with IT is, in order for projects or anything to happen, you need shareholder and stakeholder buy-in, and you need to understand why the business is trying to drive this from an IT perspective, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect their bottom line. So if you can already come in there with that knowledge and understand what complex problems that they're already having, then you can already be one step above the competition.
That intersection, that's where the top salaries lie and the fastest jobs. So I would say if you want to invest in your people skills, it probably takes about 2 months to learn how to collaborate on a team. But the cool thing is those 2 months can overlap your technical skills of how do you work with others on a team, technically, right? So you're doing both of these things together. And also inside the Joy of Coding Academy, we also offer additional avenues for our students to help practice their technical skills and speaking technically to people at different levels, right? We have a peer mentor program, right? So we offer a lot of additional support there. So if that's something you're interested in. But the people skills, super critical. Like I have seen it so many times, the most technically skilled person does not necessarily get the job offer. It's the person who can communicate their value, can communicate about technology in a job setting. That's who gets the job. And I've seen it time and time again. And that comes to our final lever, right? These are all levers that we can tweak in terms of time, like how fast we want to get a job, right? There's levers here. Okay, last thing, third lever, connection. The speed and ease of your job hunt is directly tied to this one thing here, your connections. With connections, right? We saw Liz Baker was an intern inside the Joy of Coding Academy. She gave an interview about her job application process, last month. And so this, depending on your connections, this job hunt can go as little as 2 weeks to a couple months. So why are connections such a big part of this process? So if you want to do what's called the cold interview path. So the cold interview path, this is the path where you don't know anyone and you're relying solely on your resume and your portfolio to get you in the door. This is the hard way because everyone on the internet can create a resume and create a portfolio, right? There's nothing that distinguishes you or differentiates you. And a potential hiring manager has no idea what you're like to work with. They can't see your people skills. Unless, of course, you're actually working on projects like as a consultant or working on a team, right? On like if you have a really cool internship project. But if you don't have that, right? If you don't have that, you've got to rely on your technical skills. And so the key for how fast you can get a job as a developer this year or any year is your connections. Because if you have a connection to a job, whether it's you have some special talent or skill, or you know someone, well, now when you know someone, this is what I call the warm interview path. This is where you're not solely reliant on your technical interview or your technical skills to land that job. So the technical skills evolve and change over time. So it doesn't really matter if it's the top current technologist that gets the job, right? Everyone can learn these things moving forward as long as you have the same base level of knowledge. So really what it comes down to in the interview itself, people skills, for sure. People want to hire their friends. You're gonna live and work on a team. They're gonna have to work with you every single day. They want someone who jives with them, right? Who's like, yeah, it feels like one of the team already in the interview. That's how you know it's a good interview. These things are really important, but connections, this is how you speed it up. Now, our students inside the Joy of Coding Academy not only get their own connections, but all the connections inside with all the mentors that we have. We have 100% job placement rate, and we're able to connect our grads with so many different opportunities and get them job offers typically within 2 months because we have a lot of connections. And so when someone's a connection for you, they're not only able to speak to your technical skills, they're also able to speak to your people skills and who you are as a worker. When you have a connection who can speak to your technical abilities and your ability as a collaborator and a worker, right? This just skyrockets that recommendation. Like when you can just say, when you have someone saying for you, who's not you, right? Like you can say it, but hey, you want the job, right? Well, of course you're going to say something good. But if it's somebody else, a third party, a reference, who can speak to your abilities as a worker, as well as your technical skills, now that's something. Because nobody wants to hire somebody they have to let go. It's like impossible to fire people. They want to see strong team members. They want to see good workers that can show up and do the work. So to summarize, how fast can you get a dev job in 2023? 6 months. Here's how. What are the factors that will make it take longer or shorter? How far advanced you are in your technical skills and your confidence in them. Where you are in terms of your people skills. I tend to find that there is sometimes an inverse relationship between someone's ability to talk to computers and to humans, right? So we're really looking for that sweet spot of being personable, being able to communicate with others, especially building rapport on that interview. That's key to nailing it. And having those technical skills at a base level that you can actually do the work. And then finally, connections. If you've got tons of connections, awesome. This is going to go fast for you. If you don't have a lot of connections, then this could be a long time. This could be a heavy road, 3 to 6 months. Oh yeah, 3 to 6 months. To be honest, the worst case, I think I heard someone that had been searching for like 12 years. I mean, it can go on and on and on. It doesn't need to. It can, 2 weeks, 2 months, it's totally easy to get a job. But yeah, there's an important component here, and that is leveraging connections. And if you don't have them, building them. Again, if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to pop them in the chat and the comments, even after the event. Again, I'm Dr. Emily, founder of the Joy of Coding Academy. And if you're looking to get a software developer job in the next 6 months, let me know. And I'm happy to talk to you more about the Joy of Coding Academy, where we actually just started a money back guarantee because we're 100% job placement rate. Our students have been so successful that we're putting our money where our mouth is. All right, guys. So if you want to know any more about that, please feel free to reach out, and happy coding. See you guys all soon.